Welcome to our garden. Let's take a look inside the blueberry, strawberry, garlic patch, small orchard, how we like to call it. Passing by the hazel trees. Just gonna open the gate and go in to have a look. As you can see, we have a lot of wood chips around here to feed the plants, to hold the moisture. So we have blueberry bushes, 4 varieties, 2 strawberry varieties. As you can see here, they're just barely starting to open. This is the Malvina variety, which also has some potato plants growing. Last year we had potato plants growing here. And I know they say it's not good to plant strawberries where potatoes were growing before, but this is what's going on at the moment. We'll see how they do. Hopefully they'll be okay due to this wood chip material and the Weinkia mycelium underneath. Here we have the garlic, planted quite late, so it'll probably stay in for a while. But it's planted here and a few more around there among the strawberry plants. But the patch here is planted to separate the 2 varieties. Here on my right we have Ostara strawberries. You can see they're in bloom now and forming the berries. This is an ever-bearing variety. Which makes smaller strawberries, but it's supposed to be very delicious variety. So I planted the patch here to separate the 2 varieties as mentioned, because I would like to propagate them, of course. So as a way to keep them separate, just for the nursery as well. Because once I propagate more plants, I will be selling them as part of the tree nursery. I'll probably be able to sell only the Ostara, because the Malvina variety which we have here is it's a newer variety, and then this is patented, I believe. So just able to sell the Ostara varieties. But look at the massive leaves on the Malvina variety of strawberries. They're really large, which is in a way an indication of how large the fruits are going to be compared to the other variety. These are supposed to make a really large size strawberry. So I'm looking forward to that. The blooms as well indicate that they're much larger in size compared to the Ostara variety. But yeah, I'm amazed of how large the leaves are in comparison with my hand. You can see, massive. I've never seen such large leaves. In time we will add more wood chips here, and soon we have to cover the area. You can see we protected it with a fence for now, because we do have deer and hare coming through the garden sometimes. And at the end of this week sometime, maybe for Friday, Saturday, we'll probably cover the patch with some material, just to protect the blueberry bushes and the strawberries from the birds, because they will love to peck on the strawberries and eat the blueberries once they will ripen. I'd like to show you now some of the blueberry bushes. Not all of them have blueberries on them. Some bushes were smaller or not as well developed as others. And you can see here another reason why I plan to cover the patch soon. It's because birds keep scratching at the roots and uncover them. So I want to make sure the roots are protected. This is the Draper blueberry variety. It was the first to bloom. We have Draper, Duke, Osorno and Titanium varieties of blueberries in this patch. We also have one Chandler, a Liberty or a Legacy, I forget which one, and a Hort Blue Petite in other areas of the garden. But the main patch is here. You can see the Draper blueberries forming, looking really nice. They're quite a large size variety when they ripen. You can see they've finished the flower, dried out, and formed the blueberry. This one is starting to get some color. But yeah, it will be nice to taste these if we can protect them from the birds. There's a handful on here, on this bush. There's another Draper bush there, another one here. I pruned them before planting them because they were quite bedraggled when they arrived. They had several branches, not all of them were well formed or in the best condition, so I just left the best branches. You can see here some of the wine cap mushrooms popping through. We've been picking mushrooms, wine cap mushrooms, for a few weeks now, since 5th of May. I've been picking them every few days or so, depending on how it was raining or how warm it was. So it's really nice to see them here. We've put mycelium in, so they're popping through. This is the Duke blueberry. You can see still having some of the blooms on. And here's another Duke. I'm really pleased with how the Duke and the Draper varieties are looking. The Titanium bushes weren't looking their best when they arrived, so that's not to do with the variety, it's just how they arrived, the plants. Hopefully they will do well. They'll develop better now they're here. I'll take better care of them. So you see here again, I covered the bushes because the birds keep scratching at their base, looking for worms probably to eat. So I must cover them to protect the roots. You can see also more potatoes growing here. I'll cover them properly and then put the cover on in the next few days. So hopefully the bushes will live better after that, because I keep covering the roots and they keep getting scratched. You can see I'm just continue to be amazed by how beautiful the leaves are, how large they are on the Malvina variety. My hands are not like the largest hands in the world, but they're not small either, so they're doing really well, these plants here. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the strawberries. I weeded the area a bit, removing most of the weeds a couple of days ago. I didn't get all of them apparently, or maybe some came out after I pruned them, after I weeded them, I mean. But yeah, so many blooms. I counted the other day and there were, I see, more wine caps coming through. I counted the blooms on one of the potted Ostara plants, and there were 21 flowers, or like in bloom or in bud. So they were, or forming fruits. So 21 on a first year plant, at least first year in our garden. So yeah, I'm really happy. I look forward to tasting this variety. And this is why I'm hoping the strawberries growing with some potatoes will be okay, since we have this mycelium activities, mushroom activity, which should feed the wood chips, feed themselves around here. See, more coming. I'll take one out just to show you, in case you haven't seen my other videos. They're whitish inside, and they're best eaten before they fully open the cap. That's the best state. Afterwards they'll be spent, so they're not as good to eat. But when they're young, they're really good. And these are small ones, but they usually they can get really big as well. You can watch my other videos to see some footage of that. See more garlic growing here, because the idea was to plant some of the garlic before the fence was up, so just to protect the strawberries from hare and other animals. But thankfully we managed to put the fence up as well. And here over the fence we have the beautiful chives next to the golden delicious apple, sorrel, a wasabi plant growing just over there, just that one there, a pink currant bush, another pink currant bush growing there from cuttings, and another osorno blueberry bush just over there. And we have other plants, a medlar tree beyond the fence, the airplant boxes at the back of the garden. Yeah, I wanted to make this video just to update you on how the blueberry bushes are doing, because in the future I would love to plant more blueberry bushes, more strawberries, but especially with blueberries, because they're more challenging to grow apparently. So we'll see how they do with the wood chips, because they like acidic soil, and the soil underneath is compacted and there's rocks in the garden. But in this area I added some more rich soil when we planted the potatoes, and lately, in the last few months I mean, we've added over winter, in the last few months we added wood chips. So hopefully that will help with drainage and to feed the plants and give them the soil requirements they need. I think if they have these kind of conditions they will be okay. They don't necessarily need ericaceous compost soil in my opinion, but again, I have limited experience with this, so we're just testing to see how they're doing. Back to the wine caps, the wee wine cap here. So this is a look at our small blueberry, strawberry, garlic orchard, and I'll briefly take you at the back to show you the airplant boxes, how the strawberries are doing in them. Here's one of the persimmon trees I planted, and here are the airplant boxes this year, filled with mostly strawberry plants, with some hazel saplings which were from last year. They haven't sprouted last year, and they were in the soil left, and they sprouted now. Hazel seeds can do that. But you can see this is your Stara variety, and back there is the Malvina. Some blooms are starting. Some plants are starting to bloom, I mean. Here are more of the hazel saplings. There we have the red currants, which I covered, some of the white currants. Yeah, I'm loving the open boxes. They're very easy to keep the plants in, very easy to weed. The back doesn't hurt as much when for obvious reasons. We don't have to bend so much. But yeah, the plants are looking really nice. I put 2 layers of sawdust here. With chips it's best, but I only had sawdust for this, so that's what I used. I just made sure to put a thin layer a couple of weeks ago when I planted the strawberries, and recently I put another layer just to help keep the humidity and the moisture, because when it gets dry, these get drier faster than the ones in the garden, of course, which are not connected, because these are not connected to the soil beneath. Here is one of the wine caps growing here as well. They're spent. That's what I was saying about wine caps, picking them when they're smaller or not opened, when the cap hasn't opened yet, because we can get really large ones which haven't opened. Some of the strawberry plants doing this coloration, so I've been picking the leaves to do that. But yeah, really pleased with how they're looking. See the beautiful blooms. Usually they're even larger than this, the Malvina blooms, but they're certainly bigger than the Stara. There's lots more things going on in the garden, but I will show you those in future videos. For now, thank you so much for watching this one about strawberries and blueberries mostly.